Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another Nerd Nation stream. We are talking WandaVision episode 5. And if there is a subtitle to this, I do apologize for not knowing. But I'm with my usual co-host that is, in Cousin Cheeto. How you doing, mate?
Hey.
Great. Both very excited to talk about this episode, and we will get straight to the juicy bits first. But we just heard recently of the terrible news of the legendary Christopher Plummer passing away at the age of 91. Fantastic innings for a fantastic actor. He has been involved in some of the most popular films around, from way back into The Sound of Music to most recently being in Knives Out, as well as having memorable roles in maybe helping the Star Trek series in Star Trek 6. He's been in so many films. I wish I could remember all of them. He was in The Man Who Would Be King. He's been in so many films, and he's such a great actor. He will be missed. He's left an impression in my life. I think he's, for me, one of the greatest actors of all time. I mean, like what he brought. Is it General Kang? Or is it Krang? God, I should know this.
It's Chang.
Chang.
But I'm trying to remember what his rank was. I don't remember.
He was General.
Is it General Chang? Okay.
Yeah. But what he brought to that role was very unique, like a very philosophical warrior. He wasn't, like he was also the garishly gnarling Klingon that we usually get to know, but he had a little bit of panache about him, quoting Shakespeare and stuff. Fantastic. What do you want to quickly say about Christopher Plummer before we move on to this lovely episode?
I mean, he was in a lot of things that I liked. Obviously, Star Trek 6 is one of my favorite Star Treks of all time, and that is mostly in part to him because he was a fantastic villain. And let's be real. I mean, nowadays they talk about like the holy Chris's, like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, but you know what? There were amazing Chris's back in the day, and Christopher Plummer, Christopher Lee, Christopher Walken. I mean, there's a bunch of
Reeve.
Christopher Reeve is another one. So I mean, they're so he was one, in my opinion. If you were to ask me, what was the old Christopher, Trinity or whatever you want to call it, and I'd have been like Christopher Plummer would have been one of them. I did kind of page through his movie list, and I was just surprised by some of the stuff that he was in. But I mean, great actor, great guy, from what I hear. I mean, it's just he was 91. He led a good life, and he was one of the oldest Academy Award winning actors. So
yeah. Well, I think when it comes to WandaVision, and by the way, this is a spoil. Every episode we talk about is spoilers, regardless of what the show is. But we're gonna have to really pretty much go with the ending of this episode to start off with, because it was the most holy shit moment we've seen in a while. This, for me, maybe not in the same sort of caliber as the Luke Skywalker reveal at the end of Mandalorian, but definitely the same sort of wow, that's pretty cool, sort of element in it, because what they did at the end of this episode was not only holy shit, it was fucking genius. It was beyond fucking genius. And I have to marvel, when it comes to genius in the MCU, they are knocking it out the park. They really are. Like DC really needs to have a look at what fucking Marvel's doing. They are so intelligent with how they do their shit. And what they've done here, I was blown away. Like the theories coming from this alone, of Quicksilver coming into the MCU,
Well, let's be clear, because you haven't really said it. The Fox's
Quicksilver.
The Fox's Quicksilver. What's his name? Peters. I don't remember his first name. Peters, Quicksilver from
Evan
Fox.
Peters. That's the name of the actor.
Evan Peters, yes.
Yeah.
Evan Peters, Quicksilver, not Aaron or Aaron Taylor, whatever.
Aaron Taylor something.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor, whatever. Actor. It is not him. It is the Fox Universe version of Quicksilver. So, and I mean, I don't know if it's like the actual one that was in the X-Men movies, or if it's like just a a different version that Wanda cooked up. But I mean, there it could go anywhere from here.
Yes, it can, and that's what made me love the ending of this episode, because right now the theories and like people giving their opinion, not their opinions, but where they feel this is going to go, is endless right now. There's a multiverse of fucking theories right now, mate. It's unbelievable, and it just makes so much sense, because like we are getting X-Men characters now coming into this. Now, what the character of Quicksilver in the Fox universe, is that guy also called Pietro?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's only ever been one Quicksilver. He's always been Pietro. It's not like Ant-Man, you got Hank Pym and Scott Lang. It's not like that, is it?
It's always been. I mean, yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know if there was like another Quicksilver, but no, in Fox it was Pietro Maximoff, and then in MCU it was Pietro Maximoff. So
excellent. And obviously the funny remarks about the recast and stuff like that. Ironically, there's been a couple of recasts in the MCU itself, but Darcy mentioning it was pretty cool. He is pretty much he's embodying what he was in Fox. He's definitely that character. Just by the brief moment he was there, the way he asked for his sister to give him a hug. He has an American accent, for fuck's sake. He doesn't sound like Eastern European at all. So that was, he's definitely that particular character. Like I said, I was blown away by the genius of this. Like there's real genius in the writing. Like you got to take your fucking hat off to Marvel and think to yourself, Jesus Christ, man, you guys are just knocking at the fucking park all the bloody time.
Well, I mean, and just overall with this episode, I mean, this episode was really good. Like, ending aside, like if nothing happened at the end of this episode, I still would have said this was a really good episode. Definitely for me, like a 9 out of 10, because the pacing was good. They had a lot going on. They had a lot of progression. I mean, seeing a different side of Vision that we had never seen before. I mean, him frustrated and angry. We've seen him hurt before, but we've never seen him angry like this. And it's just, it's so great to like just see the depth of like these two characters coming out. And like, and we can get into more details, but it's like in Wanda when she's, outside the field and all that's just, there's so much there to talk about. So you go ahead and take it from there.
Okay. So we're going to start with this episode, and we've got lots of stuff to talk about. We'll probably talk about the ending again. We might come up with some more ideas. But first of all, how this episode begins, Bob, is that WandaVision are in the 80s now, and they're trying to make their babies go to sleep. Because, at the end of, 2 episodes ago when Wanda had her babies, that's how that episode ended, and they're straight into the 80s. Kids haven't aged at all, and they're trying to make their babies asleep. And her magic, by the way, if I'm not sure if you realize this, her magic wasn't working on the babies to make them go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not under the influence of her powers, and I feel that's going to become more prominent as the series goes along. Now, Agnes rings the bell and she just walks in. I mean, that's how she operates now. She doesn't even fucking like wait for somebody to answer. She's coming in before they even give her a chance to fucking open the door.
And it's been only like she's only known them technically in this for like what 4 or no? What's it?
3 or 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah.
Like I think each day is a different episode in this. And I mean, technically, one episode was just a recap of the first 3 episodes that happened inside the bubble on the outside.
Exactly. So it's only been 4 days, as far as I'm concerned, as well. Now, after Agnes walks in, they talk a bit something nonsensical. And Agnes doesn't know where to go forward with what they said, and she goes to Wanda, you want me to do this again? Which is a bit weird, because I always thought Agnes was under the spell as well to a degree. But is she? How much of under the spell is she? And I'm going to come back to that a little bit later, why I'm saying this, because it's regarding a trailer in the future of a future episode, which we've all seen when it came to the trailer for this show. So which is why it makes me wonder what the fuck's going on with Agnes. I mean, everyone knows there's more to Agnes than meets the eye. And you can't help but feel that she's not a good person. I don't know about you.
I mean, I don't know. I think that she, in my opinion, I think she's going to be somebody who wants to abuse Wanda's powers. I feel like she has more to do with this. Like, I don't I think Wanda has a part in this because she even said it at later on in the episode that she doesn't know how this all started, and I feel like Agnes is how this whole thing started. Now Wanda's continuing it, so of course she's also liable, but I feel like Agnes is part of the reason why this started.
I agree. I definitely feel. Okay, I mean, a lot of people are going down. And I'm just quickly going on a tangent here, if you don't mind. A lot of people are going down the what's it? I keep saying manifesto. It's Mephisto, yeah, Mephisto.
Mephisto, yes.
The Mephisto route and Agatha Harkness. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of that. I'm not so sure, to tell you the truth. I think those are Easter eggs, but not guaranteed regarding lore and stuff like that for more knowledgeable fans. But I'm not so sure if it's definitely the route they're going to go down. I'm still, in my opinion, feeling that Agnes is a fucking Hydra agent and she's just trying to get her head through this shit. Because she's still an agent at heart. But that's just my opinion of it all. And they're just paying homage to some of the more supernatural elements. I'm not sure if I like the idea of the devil being in the MCU. I think it's a bit far-fetched as far as I'm fucking concerned.
Well, I mean, he's not technically the devil. He's technically an entity that
like a demon
from another, like Dormammu. He's just like he's an entity from another dimension. That, I mean, he's not like the literal devil. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
but
okay, no problem. Well, what did you think of that moment though, regarding like her wanting to restart and shit like that?
I mean, yeah, as I said, I mean, I've suspected this whole time that, that she's in on it or that she knows more than she lets on. I mean, you might be right. There might be a degree of control. Maybe she's lost a little bit of control of Wanda.
Yeah, she's maybe. This is why I think that she is a Hydra agent, or if not a Hydra. I feel like
I think she's a magic user. I seriously think she's a magic. I feel like the fact that she can so. I mean, because Vision can kind of repel her control now, at least for the moment. Now that he's self-aware, I feel like Agatha or Agnes is also self-aware because of her magic ability, and I feel like she's able to kind of resist.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to a degree. I'm not sure she's got magic or not, but I do believe that she's somehow able to resist this shit to a degree.
Yeah, she has to be able to, because she just asked her. She said, "Do you want to take it from the top?" Whereas Vision had to physically, tap the forehead of the guy or the temples of the guy.
I'm going to get to that, which has got to do with this. Funny enough.
Okay, so we'll keep going.
Okay, fine. So we kind of stopped here a little bit. Let's move on a bit. So like Vision's actually asking, like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you see that, Wanda? And Wanda just brushes that shit off like it was nothing. Like, oh, she's just a bit weird. That's all. And next thing you know, the fucking twins have grown 5 years. Like, they're 5 years old now. And Agnes is in the room while this shit is happening. It's like, what the fuck? And we then get the 80s sitcom intro. And this was like the old school Family Ties bollocks. Like there's real family. Yeah, we're a big family all living together. We have life lessons. We learn life lessons every fucking week and shit like that.
Oh, it's definitely Full House. Everywhere you look.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny enough is that here there's connective tissue here. And you might
I know.
Yeah, is that Elizabeth Olsen is not obviously an Olsen twin, but she's one of the Olsens. She has Olsen twin sisters.
Yeah, they look like freaks in nature.
And this episode was very Full Housey.
Yeah, I never got into that show, but I know the references. I've seen some little clips on YouTube and stuff like that. But back in the day when I was younger, the Olsen twins were like the people I did not want to see, which is why initially I had a negative reaction when Elizabeth Olsen was put in as fucking Scarlet Witch. But I've kind of gotten over that now. I've completely gotten over it.
Yeah, I had the exact same reaction when Elizabeth Olsen was. I'm like Elizabeth Olsen. I didn't even know who she was at first. I'm like, there's another Olsen?
Likewise, yeah. Like, what the fuck? But I give her credit because she has surpassed her sisters now.
Oh,
her sisters had so much shit going on for themselves. They were like the big fucking deal. Now Elizabeth Olsen, credible actress. Something her sisters would love to fucking be. You know what I mean? I mean, the world is a fucking oyster. You see how good she is on this show, playing different time periods and stuff like that, and her acting ability and stuff like that. She is primed to be in anything she wants to fucking be outside the fucking MCU. She is hot property, and she's gorgeous as well. Like when she was wearing a 70s outfit and her straight hair, my God, she was so fucking stunning. It was unbelievable, man. She looked absolutely beautiful. What a fantastic look for her. That was the best look so far, as far as I was concerned. Yeah, I mean, her 70s look.
Oh no, I thought the 50s look was really, really good. Like with the curly
really?
hair and everything. Yeah.
I love the straight hair on her. She looked hot. Anyways, enough drooling over her. What did you think of the intro, by the way? With the Mio.
Yeah, I know it gave me the Full House vibes. But I mean that's all it was. I didn't like the song. I thought the song was a bit odd. Like it just didn't sound good.
It reminded me of some of that bullshit you guys used to fucking come up for, with shit, send us across the pond back in the day, man. We watched this shit on Channel 4 and stuff. Oh God. Anyways, I'm glad it's nostalgic now and it's not happening anymore. But now the trailer, sorry, the intro's over. Oh God. We cut to the real world, and Monica is being questioned and treated by the medical staff after leaving their hex. Something Darcy comes up with. I like that name, by the way. I think it works well. I think it has two variables to it.
You also know what that's a reference to, right?
Go on, enlighten me.
Wanda has hex magic.
Yeah. I know. I get it.
Oh, okay.
It's got two meanings to it. I get it. The hexagon, as well as the fucking hex, as in putting a spell. Yeah.
But that's what her magic is called in the comic books. It's called hex magic. Like they call it reality warping. But they've originally it was, or at least as far as I can remember, before it was reality warping, it was called hex magic. She could I want to say she could change probabilities and stuff like her powers have changed so much over the years. It doesn't surprise me that but yeah.
Well, Jimmy meets Monica while she's having a treatment, introduces her to Darcy, gives her some clothes, and then they go to a meeting. Now Hayward, by the way, there's a lot of talk about Hayward. He's the general manager fucker, the guy in charge, Monica's boss, basically. A lot of people are saying that he might be Mephisto. A lot of people are saying he's the real villain of the show. He's the asshole of the show. Yeah, that's all he is. He's just
he won't be the villain, yeah, because he's the asshole. Like they always try to do that bait and switch where it's like, oh yeah, he's an asshole. He's got to be the bad guy, and then it's like the nicest person. Like I don't know, Agatha.
Yeah, but in a way, Agatha is like they're not like the way they're filming it. It's kind of obvious that Agatha is not a nice person. Or there's more to her than meets the eye. The way they filmed, like her just walking in all the time, wearing the same brooch. Even though I looked all over, and I'm being professional here, I looked all over her body when she was wearing the workout outfit, and I couldn't see that brooch on her. Maybe it was on the hair, I don't know, but the brooch, she wasn't wearing it when she was wearing her gym outfit. I'm not sure if you noticed that.
I did not.
But when she was wearing her other outfit, she was wearing it back then. So that was unusual, her not wearing the brooch. But anyway, I'll forget all of that for the moment. So Hayward basically thinks Wanda is the antagonist of all of this shit, as far as he's concerned, especially when Monica came out the bubble saying it's all Wanda. So Hayward's made up his mind. Now there's a bit of little tiny dispute between Jimmy and Hayward regarding the whole scenario, because one of the reasons why Hayward thinks that she's the antagonist is because of her past. She's a fucking Hydra terrorist, for fuck's sake. So that's why he's come to that conclusion, and you can't blame him. I mean, she's got mind warping powers and all of that sort of stuff. They know what she's able to do, and there's one part where Darcy is about to call him an asshole, and then we cut to Hayward, and he says the word terrorist, to fill in the blank for fucking Darcy before she says the word asshole. He's a right ass, and then boom, terrorist, by the way. And that's what Hayward says. And I'm not sure if that's any foreshadowing that he might be maybe something more than what he is, which kind of concerns me, because I don't really want him to be more than what he is. I want him just to be a fucking pain in the ass, an asshole boss, basically, who makes the wrong fucking decisions.
And I don't
Sorry.
even think he's
Go on.
necessarily making the wrong decisions. Like, is
I
he an
agree.
asshole? Yes, but is he making? I mean, okay. Well, and I kind of rolled my eyes when he did the whole take the shot thing. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
I don't think you've gotten there yet, but the whole take the shot thing. Like, I'm like, I don't. I feel like that's a little bit much. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that was a little bit out of character for what he has been so far. Like, he seems like a very reasonable guy. He seems pretty smart. But yeah, like, because he went from, remember when he was being introduced with Rambeau, he's really relatable, really nice, and everything like that. And then they got with Darcy in the tent and everything, like, and Wu, and he's a right asshole. So it's like, I feel like the real him is, he's just doing his job. You know, he's
No,
in, like you say, he's in
I
work
do
mode.
agree. I'm 50-50 regarding take the shot, because like we're talking about somebody with superpowers who've basically taken a whole bunch of people hostage without their consent, and mind warping their abilities and all of that sort of shit. Like, this shit needs to stop. You know
And
what I
I
mean?
agree. And I mean, it might have been. Well, I think he said a missile, but I was thinking it might be some kind of like, like depressant, like power. Because remember, in Civil War, she had a power depressor on her neck, like one of those mutant collars from the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, I feel like there might have been. I feel like there might have been a like. They really should have tried something like that
Well,
rather than.
this is the bit where Hayward has more credibility. I mean, prior to him taking the shot, but he tells Monica, "Listen, I got some footage to fucking show you, love," and he shows her the footage of Wanda breaking into a facility and stealing Vision's corpse. So it is Vision's corpse reanimated, by the way.
And I
He has
think
reanimated his corpse.
And I also believe that is the end game post credit scene that they had filmed. Remember how I told you before that there was a post credit scene that they had filmed with
Yep.
Wanda and Vision, and
Oh,
I believe that is the footage that they had filmed, and the reason why we never saw it is because they just integrated it into the show.
apparently, rumors are, from what I've heard from Emergency Awesome, is that he she was talking to Hawkeye about this, and Hawkeye like kind of knew about this but never told anybody. I'm not so sure, but that'll be a bit strange, because as much as Hawkeye respects Wanda, he would not let her break into a facility, possibly kill or harm or injure people, to steal a fucking corpse for her vanity, for her sanity even. I mean, it's just not fucking worth it. Well, maybe it is, considering how fucking crazy she is, but that was, so we're back in the 80s now, and the twins are hiding a puppy, and Wanda sees the puppy, is immediately smitten by it. Vision comes in looking all human, because why the hell would he look human if he's in his own house? But he's expecting unexpected visitors all the fucking time now.
Yeah,
And
right.
yeah, and lo and behold, Agnes just walks in. Hi guys, I love the way she does that shit, man. She's so fucking good, man. I just want to give a lot of credit to what's her name, Catherine Hahn, is that the name of the actress?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She's just knocking out the. No, once again, comedians, the best actors and actresses out there are always fucking comedians. They're just so good. They really are. She's knocking out the fucking park. Wanda does some magic, by the way. She like makes a dog collar or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, and it's like right in front of Agnes.
Yeah, but Agnes has got her head turned to a degree, but it's pretty much like Vision, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I don't want to hide anymore. And then the kids want to keep the dog, but Vision tells them, look, you've got to be 10 years old if you want to keep the dog. So the kids just age themselves up to 10 years old. You know what I mean? They did it themselves.
Young Avengers, here we come.
Yeah, so they're not wasting any fucking time, man. Like, in one day, those kids, I feel sorry for them. Like, they've had 10 years in one day. Like, what the fuck? I mean, you don't just. There's so
Nobody
much.
cares about those first 10 years anyway. It's what you do after 10 that really, sticks with you and, molds you.
It's still 10 years of your life, man. Those are the longest periods of your life, because as you get older, fucking time get, I forgot the explanation of it, but it does feel shorter. Like, time always goes quicker. So, I mean, we're already in fucking February. I just felt like it was New Year the other day, So Monica is trying to figure out how to get back in, because she wants to get back in, and Darcy also assumes that for the amount of power Wanda has to change reality and create matter means that she probably has a fucking insane amount of power. And then Monica does something really stupid. Sorry, actually, I apologize. Before she does something really stupid, they comment on the people who could have taken down Thanos, and they mentioned that that Wanda could have taken down Thanos.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always something that was speculated, and Kevin Feige outside the MCU confirmed. But that's the first time we've heard it in canon that A, people know that Scarlet Witch could have beaten him, and B, that she could have beaten him. That confirms it.
I just want to just pause it there for a second and go back to the briefing, because Hayward tells Jimmy, like, has she got any other aliases? And Jimmy goes, no. Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
No. And it is funny how we're not calling her Scarlet Witch anymore. We're calling her Wanda.
Mm-hmm. But now they can call her Scarlet Witch.
No, but people until she somehow she still gets that sort of the moniker. She's still Wanda. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because we call Pietro Quicksilver. We never call him Pietro. Always just prefer.
Pietro's harder to say.
Really? Anyways, but I guess because he's only been in one film and we never got to know him, that's really what it is. But they're talking about these different people. So back to this particular point now. So they're talking about the different Avengers that could have taken on Thanos, and they said that obviously Wanda almost killed him. And then Jimmy Woo brought up the fact that Captain Marvel almost had a good shot at him too. And then you see a negative facial micro expression coming from Monica. Like, there's some unfinished business there that we don't know about, and I wonder what that could be. I believe that might be taken further on board in Captain Marvel too, because Monica's going to be in that.
I feel like they are going to pay. I mean, Marvel, they don't do stuff like that for nothing. So they're going to try to pay that off in Captain Marvel too.
Yep. Now, gone.
What?
Oh, sorry. I apologize. My screen. I thought I was gone for a second, but I can't see you.
You're still there.
Okay, cool. Something happened to my screen.
It's called sleep mode, Sam. I mean,
no, it didn't go off. Like another window popped up for a second, which is weird. When
you look at
now, they realized they can use 80s tech to get into Wanda's bubble, and they came to this stupid realization because when Monica got sucked into the bubble, she was wearing mainly Kevlar, which is like bulletproof clothing, and so she gets her gun out and starts shooting at her fucking outfit, which was changed into the 70s outfit, and it's still bulletproof. So even though the outfit's changed, it's still Kevlar. And somehow that came to the conclusion that they can just fly a fucking drone in there.
that part of the episode,
it was really stupid.
They were reaching on that one because I'm like, yeah, I mean, I get reality warping and you can change one thing into another thing, and I guess it'll keep.
How does that correlate to that? Because honestly, they could just come up with the idea. Look, it's 80s. Why don't we send some 80s technology in there and it won't change? Surely that would be the mindset, not having to shoot our fucking clothes. What the hell was that all about? That was so stupid. I really didn't like that bit at all, man. It pissed me off how the writing for that was very poor. I'm surprised they kept it in there after looking at it, but it looked really stupid. They didn't need to have her shoot her fucking clothes. Anyways, we're at Vision's office now, and he's doing an email, which is weird, but I didn't think it was emailing in the 80s, was there?
I mean, it was probably just starting, and it seemed like Vision got it for them because obviously he knows about the.
I thought that was more of a 90s thing when it came a bit more mainstream in offices and stuff like that.
They can't. I mean, he called it electronic mail. So I'm sure. I mean, I can look it up while you're talking.
Yeah, because that's before they abbreviated it. But like the way they were using it, I never knew it was like using offices like that. But he sends an email and they receive an email, and then everyone starts reading it at the same fucking time, like some weird ritual, which was really stupid. Vision touches his mate, Ron. That's his name.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, and Ron then immediately comes out of his trance, and he begs Vision, "Listen, you got to help me. This person's on my mind. Where am I? Like my family? Do they know where I am? And all that sort of shit." You immediately feel for him, yeah. And like Vision is like not only shocked, he almost looks horrified. Like what the fuck? He can't believe this shit. And at the same time, he doesn't need Ron panicking. in the situation. So he feels like the best thing for him is just to put him back in the trance until he can deal with this situation properly. What do you think of that?
I mean, that was that was really cool because I mean, it was just one of those moments where it was like, like you got to see what the people who are not. I mean, even Monica kind of underplayed it, like her being under under Wanda's control, But I mean, he's just like the panic and everything like that. Like he's just like, "Where's my family?" And he's just going, and then I mean. It was definitely a moment.
Now,
You can see the horror in Vision's face.
this is the thing where I have to get now with Agnes now, because in the trailers we see, I think in the Halloween episode, Vision touches his Agnes, and she comes out the trance and goes, "You're dead," like that to Vision. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's happened again. And I think, did you not find that weird?
In the trailer?
No, sorry, I apologize. Not in the. Sorry, that was in the trailer. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Agnes is sitting in the car, and he touches her, and he's that same golden sort of thing that happens when which you saw happen to Ron.
Yeah.
So she was in the trance, and he took her out the trance, and she says to her, "You're dead," and started laughing. Remember that?
First off, I think that's two different parts, like cut differently, so that it makes it look like that.
She was in the trance, and he got her out the trance.
No, I know that part, but then the laughing part, I feel like that's a totally different part of that.
No, I agree there. But what I'm saying is that if she's not in the trance or she's playing along, then why was she in the trance? Why was she taken out of a trance when Vision touched her?
I mean, maybe, as I said, maybe she's having a hard time fighting. Maybe as Wanda gets stronger.
I come up with something now. Maybe we didn't see properly in that episode, but maybe just theorizing now. Maybe Wanda realizes she's being manipulated by Agnes, or Agnes is not under the spell like everyone else, and then she puts her in the spell to make sure that
or maybe Wanda keeps getting more and more powerful, and then Agnes has a hard time controlling her, and then that's what I'm saying, like and then all of a sudden she's
back in. She's put in the spell, and then somehow Vision takes her out of it. But anyway, that's for next week. Back to this week still. So so where we are. Sorry, here we go. So Wanda's kids ask if she has a brother, but Wanda's talking about her past and stuff like that. And Wanda kind of lies by saying she does have a brother, which she did, but he lives very far away now. Now, as far as we're all concerned at that particular time, she doesn't have a brother anymore. He's dead. Anyway, the 80s drone finally arrives, and Monica hears this thing coming in and goes to investigate, and this drone is trying to communicate with Monica, but Monica's eyes turn red, and that's when
Wanda? You said Monica.
Sorry, I apologize. Wanda's eyes turn red, and that's when Haywood says, "Take the shot," trying to kill Wanda. Now, some people could say this is justified. I mentioned earlier that she has taken people hostage, and this shit needs to stop. She's reanimated somebody who didn't want to apparently be reanimated. Vision never wanted to come back to life.
I mean, technically, he said that he had a living will, which, I mean, if Vision had a living will, then technically it's against his own wishes as well.
So, like, all in all, like, this has to stop. Like, I can understand him saying take the shot because this needs to end. And this one person, good people can turn bad, and it looks like kind of like that's how it's going with Wanda right now. But so he says take the shot, her eyes turn red, and no way is that fucking rocket got any chance against Wanda Maximoff, man. Not a chance. And then we hear the sound of a breach happening, and Wanda comes out pissed off. She's dragging the drone, she's dressed up in her Avengers outfit, and she's talking in her Sokovian accent. Did you notice that?
A little bit. I thought she sounded weird. Like I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I was watching it on my phone, but I mean, she did sound a little weird. So I was like, "Wait a minute."
All the guns are on her, but not all those laser pointers are on her. Not once did I think she was in any danger whatsoever. No. She's just standing there like, you can't fuck with me, and I love it because right now she's probably the most powerfulest person on that planet. And yeah, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Thor, if he's not on planet, yes. I mean,
I think
and
she can
Hulk
take that.
is
Mate,
Hulk.
if she can take down Thanos, she can take down Thor.
I don't think so. Like, I think Thor can beat
Thanos took down Thor
with the Infinity Stone.
at the beginning of Infinity War, and he was fighting three Avengers, the top
No,
three
but
Avengers on
he
his
okay.
own without any stones.
We're getting into a whole different thing. First off, Thanos had the Power Stone when he
I
fought
agree.
Thor. So and Hulk. So technically, he was already unbeatable with the Power Stone at that point.
Yeah,
Like in
I agree with that.
general, like hand to hand combat with the Power Stone, you can't beat him. So I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, and with Vision kind of not having, with Vision not having the Infinity Stone in his forehead anymore, I mean that kind of nerfs him. Hulk's kind of been a little bit nerfed, I think, because I think Banner Hulk is. I'm sorry, I don't because he doesn't have the ability. I don't think he has the ability to keep getting like angrier and angrier, like unless he transforms back full Hulk. So I mean, I think that kind of nerfs him a little bit. Like, yeah, he's smart, but
now regarding just go back to Wonder again. I think regarding her accent, I think it's nothing that I think her accent is when she's talking with the American accent. I think it's just her using her magic, not having to because like there's a strain you have to put on your vocal cords to make your accent change. And it's very hard to maintain that naturally. But she does magic, no problem, if you know what I mean. Which is why she sounds like an American in the latter films, as well as in this show. Until she left the bubble, then she sounded Sokovian again, which was kind of unusual. She basically tells Saul, "Listen, just leave me the fuck alone. I don't want you invading my shit. You can't negotiate with me. I have everything I want." You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and then she then does a trick her old man did in the first X-Men movie when Magneto got all the guns to point at the cops. This time she got all the guns to point at Hayward, using her telepathic powers to control all the guys. I mean, she doesn't even have to go close to people anymore. She can telepathically control people from a distance, which is amazing. She is powerful as fuck. And then she goes back into the bubble. And then we cut to commercials. Now, there was this commercial was kind of fun. This commercial was really it's sick humor to a degree. When you make him, use Lagos towels. Lagos is the city in Nigeria, which was civil war, which when Wanda blew up the buildings. And and she's cleaning up. You see that woman in the commercial cleaning up the mess. It's a red spill representing blood, and she's using the tissue to clean up the mess. So when you make a mess, you didn't mean to. Use Lagos towels. What do you think of that?
At first I didn't get it because I'm like Lagos. I'm like, what is that? And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I eventually realized it was the city that the incident happened in.
It's a real city in Nigeria, not Wakanda and shit like that. So we'll cut back to the twins now.
Hold on, wait. Going back to the commercial though. I didn't notice any Hydra or sword
Yes, good point. Actually, I wanted to bring that up. There was no Hydra, no sword, nothing. So far, it's been one sword and two Hydra? Sorry, not sword. Stark.
Oh yeah, one Stark,
two Hydras, and a Lagos. And so we never got a commercial last week.
Yeah, so I really think it's just going over things important and I think the commercials are just going over things that were impactful on Wanda's life, like Strucker obviously doing the experiments, Stark watching, with the missile. I just think it's all Wanda's stuff, and honestly, they've never in the episode since last week made a reference to these commercials, right? I don't think they have, the people on the outside. They haven't said, what is up with these commercials?
And that's what bugged me, because those are Hydra commercials, so they should be on red alert just on that alone.
Yeah, if I saw anything that said Strucker or had a Hydra logo on it, I'd be like, oh, wait a minute. Even if it wasn't the case, it's wait a minute. I mean, what are we looking at here?
Exactly. And I'm sure those commercials will come into play at a particular
Probably.
I mean, they have to, man. You can't have these commercials, these heavily influential commercials, but they're not just dropping Easter eggs. They're really trying to when they showed that Hydra watch, they were showing us that Hydra watch.
Oh yeah, you saw that Hydra logo.
Yeah, they mentioned Stark Industries. These are mentioned for a reason, and these two actors who are in every commercial so far they have their reason to it in it as well. I'm sure that like they're actors who are, I'm sure they're under control as well, but I'm sure there's more to come to it. Anyway, let me stop babbling on. We're cutting back to the twins, and they're looking for their dog Sparky, because they named the dog Sparky, which is also in the comics, by the way.
Yeah. Sparky's the name of the dog that they have, but here's the thing though. That's Vision's family.
Yeah, Vision.
Remember, Vision made his own family in the comics, so Sparky technically was a part of Vision's family, not technically Wanda and Vision's family.
Yeah,
in the comics.
But they're looking for the dog, and I guess there's no sequel for this guy because he's
they Grubered him.
Well, he died eating Agnes's poison leaves on a bush. That sounds wrong, I know, but yes, that's how it was. And the kids know who their mum is, and they basically say, "Mum, bring her back to life. We know you can do these sort of things." And Wanda's like, "What the fuck?" Wanda being very hypocritical, basically saying, "Look, when things die, we remember them, but we have to move on." But she's pretty much not doing that for herself. I mean, she's not doing that for herself. She's doing exactly the opposite. She's having her cake and eat it, whilst these kids have lost their dog. Probably something that she wanted to do, possibly. I mean, subconsciously, who knows? But sometimes you see those sort of moments in these sort of sitcoms where you have like a heartfelt moment in these sitcoms. It's not always comedy all the way. And that felt like one of those sort of things you see in those sort of sitcoms, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So Vision, obviously, after speaking to and seeing what's happened to Ron, he needs to like confront Wanda, and he wants this hex to end. And he mentions his mate Ron about what's happened to Ron, and Wanda doesn't want to hear it, and she starts rolling the credits, which was fucking hilarious. And wants the show to end and them to go to sleep, and Vision basically says she wants Wanda to stop bullshitting, and he's really pissed off, and Wanda's deflecting. She doesn't want to confront Vision on this, and she even said that, "What do you think I'm doing? Like controlling everybody and creating this whole universe for myself? Isn't that crazy?" That's exactly what she's fucking doing. Vision is even like trying to comfort her at the same time, saying, "Wanda, you got to stop this. This is not right." And this is why Vision is a fucking hero, man. You know what I mean? This is why Vision is such a hero. Like he sees the bigger picture of all of this, and the hero side of him is just coming out. This cannot be happening. He's such a good character, man. He's so pure. It's no wonder he lifted up the hammer. No wonder, mate, when you see him acting like this.
You want to get into that? I mean, I think the reason why Vision could lift up the hammer was because he had the Infinity Stone in his forehead, and the Infinity Stone is what made it so that like the power of the Infinity Stone trumps the spell of Odin on Mjolnir. But that's a different topic for a different day.
Did you hear my theory regarding why Steve couldn't lift up the hammer in Age of Ultron?
No.
Well, a lot of people are saying that the reason why Steve couldn't pick up the hammer in Age of Ultron is that he could pick up the hammer, but because of his character, the sort of person he is, he didn't want to embarrass Thor by picking up the hammer, so he didn't. Yeah,
might be true. I don't know.
But that's one theory. But that's the most common theory, because apparently that's been what's retconned since Steve had the hammer in Endgame. So what they're saying now is that Steve knew that Tony Stark's parents were killed by Bucky, and because he knew this and never told Tony this, he wasn't worthy, which is why he wasn't able to pick up the hammer. I love that fucking explanation. For me, that's a much better explanation.
We can get into that. I've got some thoughts on that, but that's a whole nother rabbit trail. Let's keep going with the review.
Okay. So he's basically telling Wanda, this has to stop. And then the doorbell rings. Now, because Wanda is deflecting and not, confronting Vision with the truth about all of this, Vision immediately assumes that this is one of Wanda's tricks. And Wanda's basically saying, "I did not make that doorbell ring." And eventually she answers the door, and then she's like gobsmacked, and we see the back of the guy's head, and we see gray hair. We immediately thinking to ourselves, Quicksilver Pietro.
MCU Quicksilver.
MCU. And I really thought Aaron Taylor Johnson, I believe, is the name of the actor, and I immediately thought to myself, this is going to be him for sure. And then boom, we see Evan Peters, and he's acting like his Quicksilver self from the Fox universe, and he goes, "Hey sis, you're not going to give your bro a big stinky hug or some shit like that, or some sort of bollocks like that lot." And she's like blown away. He's happy to see her, and then he sees Vision and he goes, "Who's the popsicle?" You know, basically knowing that he's dead, possibly. You know, who knows? And that's how the episode ended. Wow. I mean, what a way to gag yourself for the next episode, huh?
Well, but here's my thing, and this is me nitpicking, but why did Wanda look so like flabbergasted when she opened the door? Because like I can understand if she was flabbergasted if it was Aaron Tyler Johnson's Quicksilver, but like Evan Peters, except for the white hair, looks nothing like her brother, like in the MCU. So it's like I guess the white hair might have been the thing that triggered her, but
I agree with all.
She did that for. It feels like they only did that her face like that for effect for us to be like, but
I agree with all of that, but I just don't think we haven't got our answers yet. You know, like this is a reveal, and why the reveal itself needs to be answered. And you know, so far we only have questions, correct?
Yeah.
We have no answers. You know, we have no idea what the fuck's going on. Even with all this shit being revealed to us, we still don't know what the fuck is going on. So let's just wait till next week. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying it's a nitpick. I was just like when it was Evans Peters,
it's a nitpick because you haven't had a resolution yet. But there's more episodes to come, and if it doesn't get resolved, then you within the next 4 episodes or 4 episodes, then you have every right to nitpick.
But I mean, I'm more talking about her stunned face. As I said, it would have made sense more if it was.
I know. I agree. I know what you're talking about, but even that can be explained. What her reaction? That can still be all explained later down the line. It just hasn't got there yet. So let's just give Marvel the chance, because
don't get me wrong, it was still a holy shit moment. It was more of a holy shit movie moment than Luke Skywalker. It was much bigger than that for me, at least. And I mean, but what does this mean? Like, you know, I know where, you know, my speculation, everyone's going to be saying, "Oh no, the X-Men are coming." We know the X-Men are coming. I just don't think that this is like the bit, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but if this isn't the big open door for like the X-Men to start coming in. Like, I think Pietro might stay in the MCU, or Wanda might have to say bye to her bro by the end of the season. You know,
and let's be honest, like Pietro and Wanda, you know, like they're like, well, Wanda for sure, because there was never there hasn't been a Scarlet Witch in the Fox universe, has there?
No.
Yeah. So, and like I'm just saying, like these, even though they've become much more household names in the MCU. Prior to the MCU, these were not the top tier sort of X-Men. It's Wolverine, Cyclops, Professor X, Magneto. When it comes to the Brotherhood of the Mutants, all these motherfuckers, Jean Grey and all that shit. Those are the X-Men, as far as we're concerned. These guys are like the supporting cast, and they are. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens regarding the rest of them. Will they all come in through this particular door Wanda's opening? Because that is a possibility, and she is an X-Men herself. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with this.
I don't think she's an X-Men. I mean, she was a part of the Brotherhood. She was definitely an Avenger, but I don't think Scarlet Witch was ever like a X-Men member. Now, Quicksilver was, I believe, in the comics, but Scarlet Witch was never much of an X-Men team player, like at all.
No, if anything, when I say X-Men, I mean like as in the comics.
Oh, okay. Well. But as I said, in the comics, she wasn't much of an X-Men team player either. She was more of an Avenger Brotherhood member more than she was an X-Man.
So do you think they're going to start calling her the Scarlet Witch at some point?
I think at some point they're going to name drop it. I don't know if it's going to stick.
They're going to use it like a reference, like she's like some sort of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when they start to see like her magic powers and stuff like that come out more, I mean, I can see them doing a drop, but I don't think they're going to stick with it.
But the point is, though, as an Avenger, she's not been given a moniker. She's just known as Wanda Maximoff in the Avengers and she's famous because of that.
Yeah. Oh,
You
they're
know,
not going to change her. Like, they're not going to call her
I
Scarlet
don't
Witch
I
over.
don't want her to be called Scarlet Witch ever in this thing. Honestly, I don't want a stupid Easter egg name drop either. You know, we know who she is, and honestly, calling her Scarlet Witch in the real world sounds stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm happy with her being Wanda Maximoff. You know, the whole bloody time, and just referencing her character, you know, regarding her appearances and her powers and some of the stories that she's been in the comics. That's how you reference Scarlet Witch in that sense, without having to say her name, but say that stupid name. But honestly, I don't like it. And the more I hear it, honestly, I really don't. I'm getting pinged to death at the moment. Who the hell?
That's why when we go to broadcast, I turn my phone on vibrate, Zam.
I apologize.
All right.
Let me just do that. Let me just do that now. Oh,
Well, I think it's a good point to wrap up too. I mean, we've kind of talked the Quicksilver of it all to death. I mean, and you're right. We have no answers. We just have him walking in, giving her a hug, asking who the popsicle is, and then that's all we got.
We don't know how far these episodes are going to go. Like, we never saw the kids in the trailers. We never saw, we saw them as babies, but we never saw them as kids.
Yeah, no, they were not in the trailer. I mean, yeah, we didn't
never
see
saw them
any.
as children, only as babies. So we never saw them. We never saw Pietro at all. Oh, by the way, though, like, we're at a stage now with Wanda's power where the Avengers need to come in and deal with this shit. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
like, this has to be dealt with or some. And
well, and that's where maybe if Doctor Strange does make a cameo, it'll probably be towards the end here. Because, and I mean, I don't know if he will or not. I can't see him making an appearance on the show, but maybe like for like a whole episode. But
I'll be more. And look, I don't want some. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get some stupid 30 seconds of, yeah, come with me, Wanda, if you want to live bollocks. Yeah, I think you'll have a proper moment in the show. At the same time, I do feel that we need more than just Stephen Strange. We need the emotional support. I do feel Hawkeye needs to be in this, as he's the best person to get to her emotionally. And I don't know, like, it's really hard to think of who's left out there. I mean, Bruce Banner for me is. I know you probably think differently regarding who's left, but he's the original six, and with 4 off-world, and you got Tony Stark's dead, Black Widow's dead, Hawkeye's retired, Captain America's retired. Yeah, that's 4. Yeah, and who's the 5th?
Hulk.
No, Tony Stark's dead. That's 1. There's 6
Black
Avengers.
Widow.
Black Widow's dead. That's 2.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's retired. Captain America's retired. And who's the 5th one?
Hawkeye.
I mentioned him. He's retired.
Okay.
4. Let's say 4.
Thor's off-world. Yeah, you already mentioned it. I was going to say, you already mentioned everybody.
So I mentioned everybody. So that leaves Hulk.
Honestly, or I think a better one would be.
But we're not talking about Hulk, by the way. Regarding Hulk, it's Bruce Banner. Yeah, I'm talking more than Hulk. It's not about the power. It's about the brains. They need somebody. Obviously, he can look after himself if shit hits the fan.
There's like 1,000 people that I would rather show up than Hulk. I mean, I would rather
as the leader of the Avengers, in my opinion, which is what he is.
I would say old Cap either shows up, like Chris Evans dons the old, and he just talks. I mean, he doesn't have to be in action. Doctor Strange shows up.
He doesn't have to be in action. Yeah, Chris Evans would be a great one for Wanda as well. Actually, yeah, that would be a great one because he's like everyone's big brother. They can talk to, you know. So, and Wanda had a good relationship with him as well. You know, because Chris always had her back. You know, really cared for her. What happened to her? You know, in Civil War, really gave a shit about her. So, so that'll be.
I mean, Hulk could show up, but I just feel like he'll be more of an antagonist than anything else, just because of the how they were back in Age of Ultron. Like, you know, they were at each other's throats basically in Age of Ultron, and they didn't really see much of one another until maybe Infinity War, Endgame-ish time.
I'm just, Infinity War. No, it was for Ragnarok.
No, I'm talking about Scarlet Witch and Hulk having or Bruce Banner having an interaction.
Oh, by the way, that also reminds me. Vision has seen Pietro, the real Pietro, in Age of Ultron. He got to see him before he died. Yeah.
Yes.
So he knows what Pietro looks like.
Yeah.
And that's not what he looks like. So I'm sure.
Well, but remember, Vision doesn't remember anything before Westview. Even if he's not under Wanda's control, he's like, I don't remember anything before Westview. I don't remember my life before Westview. So that's probably why he doesn't remember what.
It's interesting when he says that about what his life is. I mean, does he remember all the way back to being created by Tony Stark?
I doubt it. I don't think so. I think he just remembers Westview, but he knows something is wrong. And he even said he's running all on analytics or something like that, where he's basically saying, I want to trust you, Wanda, but I'm running on, all analytics and analyses, and everything is telling me that you are the problem here.
Do you think Wanda is the main antagonist of the show?
I feel like I
the
feel
main
like they're leaning. I feel like what I feel like is happening is that somebody dragged her into this, whether it be Agnes, whether it be Sword, whether it be Hydra. Somebody dragged her into this and they lost control. Like they manipulated her into this. They lost control. She's too powerful. And
when you say dragged her into this, I mean like they controlled her to go steal Vision's body.
Maybe. And then she just went and did her own thing.
She stole her body, and like she knew that she could create a whole universe in a bubble, like a whole world.
Because she even said she doesn't remember how this all started. So I think there's someone manipulating her. I just think that whoever it is lost control of the situation, and that's how we got into this sitcom reality.
We are beyond halfway now, and we still haven't got an answer to the beginning of this. And I do feel one episode will be dedicated to that, and in my opinion, that'll be episode 7. I do feel next week we'll have the Halloween episode that everyone's talked about. That's the one where you saw in the trailer where he touches Agnes's head in the car.
Yeah, that'll probably be the 90s, and then I think they are going to have like a reality TV show version.
Bossman has spoken. He's saying I think it's a mind changer. It could be
Dr. Doom.
Oh yeah, because Monica, by the way, says that she knows somebody in aromatics and stuff like that. Or so not Monica. Yeah, Monica Rambeau. I only caught this the second time of watching this. Like prior to getting the drone, and I think she might have got that drone from that person. She knows somebody in some aromatics, astrometrics sort of shit, and she rings that person up on her phone. Now that might not be a big deal, who that person she rang up on the phone, but some people are theorizing that could be a particular somebody in the MCU in Marvel who we haven't seen yet, who might make their debut next week as well, which would be interesting. I'm not sure if you picked up on that.
I did not. Who are they thinking it is?
I'm sorry, like some of the names I wasn't that familiar with, but they like some lesser known, but if you're a hardcore comic book fan regarding Marvel. So some particular characters, but I wish I could remember those names, but they didn't stick with me. But
I just is this Boogeyman or Bossman?
This is Bossman.
Bossman.
Some people are saying it was Dr. Doom. Actually, some people were saying that, or Reed Richards actually as well.
I hope it's not Dr. Doom. I feel like Dr. Doom needs to be and I'm not saying this bad about WandaVision, but Dr. Doom needs to be a bigger deal than just showing up on WandaVision.
I agree.
It needs to be something that either happens like in a movie or an Avengers level movie, or even the Fantastic Four first movie, even if he's, I feel like, and I get why he would be there, because a lot of people are theorizing that Latveria is going to rise up from the ashes of Sokovia. And Dr. Doom is going to basically make Latveria out of Sokovia, and that would affect Scarlet Witch. I see the connection there. I just don't want him to show up now. It may be if they do a post-credit sequence of this show, and it shows like, somebody, Latveria, something about Sokovia, and they're taking the sign down, and then it says like, welcome to Latveria. Like just some little nod like that, basically showing that Latveria is coming. But it's like, it's old Sokovia. Maybe, but I just don't want a full-blown Dr. Doom or even a Victor Von Doom.
What about Reed Richards? Some people
No,
theorize
I think
that.
it needs to be. I think it needs to be an Avengers level movie. I'm sorry, like Fantastic Four needs to come in strong, and I think they either need to come in as a guest appearance in, like, not a guest appearance, but like not as the Fantastic Four in an Avengers movie and become the Fantastic Four in that movie, or they need to have their first solo outing and then become the Fantastic Four. Because I mean, maybe we can see them in Multiverse of Madness, but I don't want. This is something that can't be glossed over. So
I'm with you. I mean, prior when I was listening to Bossman, he did come up with some good points, but come to think of it, when it comes to someone like Victor Von Doom, he needs to be brought in
he needs the pomp and
grandiose.
circumstance.
It's a bit like wrestling. Like you can't have him as a mid card guy. He needs to be top tier. Needs to be championship straight away. And he might even should be to a degree. He needs to be treated like Thanos. Some would argue, and I'd go with that. Like
I would treat Doctor Doom as a Thanos level, maybe not in power, but in strategy. Like I
well,
would, I he
just in the sense of like regard power or not, in the sense that he's like the big guy they need to kill or finish off at the end of a particular saga, like the Infinity War Stones. The Infinity Saga was the first saga. This is the next saga. If he's the end level boss at the end of this saga, so be it. But that's how they should treat him. And with little cameos here and there, or maybe even being a villain who wins a film.
yeah. But
You
here's
know,
the thing: Thanos just won. Like if you think about it, I mean, okay, well, Thanos just won and then
no,
lost.
I'm not
But
talking like Infinity War and Endgame one after the other, like midway in in this particular saga, like in Phase 5, for instance, he wins very early in Phase 5, and he doesn't lose. Maybe he wins 2 or 3 times, not just once. He's just like wiping the floor in every fucking movie. That would be good. That would be genius before they finally finish him off. Don't you think?
yeah, I
Just
mean,
to
yeah,
see the
I would
villains
love to
win
see.
in several movies, like Guardians lose, Thor loses, they all fucking lose against this guy. And it's like they come together finally to beat him.
Well, I just don't know if you having Doctor Doom as the main antagonist in several movies. I can see it in Fantastic Four. I could see it in an Avengers movie. Maybe I
The
don't even.
leader,
Huh?
Bossman's talking about the leader. He would do
Maybe.
something like this.
All right, I'll be
Boss,
right back. I gotta pee.
Bossman, we were like talking about Haywood. He's obviously Monica's boss in this show, but some people are stressing that there's more to him than meets the eye. I don't think so. I just think that he's just somebody who's going to butt heads with Monica and Jimmy and Darcy regarding how he wants to operate, being in charge of this, and how those three want to operate. Do you think? Do you think that, or do you think he's Mephisto or somebody else? I don't think he's Mephisto at all. By the way, I mean, if he is, then they better make it work. I don't know what you think, mate. Just waiting on Bob to come back. This is the problem when you kill off several villains, yeah. I would love Baron Zemo to somehow end up being Doctor Doom, but unfortunately, Doctor Doom is Dr. Victor Von Doom. But Baron Zemo, like, he gives me good Doctor Zoom vibes. Doctor Zooms, Doctor Doom vibes. He really does. It's a shame if they could somehow make him Doctor Doom, that would be great. Oh, I just got your message about you having to go pee, Bob. I'm sorry, I apologize, mate.
Okay, I'm back.
Now behind the scenes, like behind this situation, he would mess with the Avengers. I'm not sure if I get you, boss man. But I was just telling boss man as well, like Doctor Doom. If you could somehow make Baron Zemo Doctor Doom, that would work. Even though Doctor Doom is Doctor Victor Von Doom, Baron Zemo, he gives those Doctor Doom vibes so well.
He
You know
does.
what I mean? He really does. You know, I wouldn't want to merge the characters because Doctor Doom and Zemo, or Doctor Doom himself,
Or
doesn't need to be merged to make a unique character.
or hold on, what if they do a Thunderbolts movie, but Zemo's the leader, and like so Doctor Doom comes in, takes over Latveria. Thaddeus Ross and Baron Zemo want to get Doctor Doom out of power, or at least Victor Von Doom out of power. So they send the Thunderbolts in on a covert operation to kill Victor Von Doom because they don't want him in power in Sokovia.
What? I guess. I mean, that's. But I wouldn't mind some of that backstory being brought up in later films. If once we got Von Doom more established, if you know what I mean, I wouldn't want that to be straight away.
Well, no, it would be. It would be not straight away. I'm not talking about Doctor Doom's first appearance. I'm talking about like after he shows up and maybe becoming Doctor Doom and so on and so forth. Or I don't know. I just feel like Doctor Doom would not be a part of the Thunderbolts, so it would have to. But I feel like that would be a good way for him to win because like then he when the Thunderbolts go in there and try to like get Doctor Doom out of power, then the Thunderbolts have to, they send the Thunderbolts in covertly, kind of like the Suicide Squad, to eliminate him.
Until the Thunderbolts become more established, because they need a film of their own, or they need to be involved in certain shows.
Well, we know that Abomination is coming back on She-Hulk, and we know that
Tim Roth reprising that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know if he's going to be in human form or Abomination form, because in the
Abomination form, because he's been totally mutated, he can't turn back.
Well, we don't know that. It's a Disney Plus show, so maybe I don't know.
I just want to quickly go to Bossman's most recent comment. He said, "Had the villain behind WandaVision, Barrett? No, mate, come on. I want to totally disagree. That's just no. Baron Zemo is going to be part of Falcon Winter Soldier and keep him there. I don't want him involved. He doesn't need to be involved in any of this shit. I know he's got the Sokovian connection with Wanda, but that's about it. You know what I mean? That's about it. They're both Sokovian. You know what I mean? How about someone who is
follow Mysterio? I don't know what he means by that. Mysterio's a
Sony
a Spider-Man villain, and honestly, he's not. I don't think he's on the level. No offense, but I don't think he's on the level of any MCU villain. Like in quality, yes, but in like power and I mean, he's just a fancy like.
He's a joke. He's actually a joke character. I mean, they've made him cool the same way they made Aquaman cool. But he started off as a bit of a joke. I mean, this guy's walking around with fucking 24-inch pythons and a goldfish bowl on his head. Absolutely stupid. But they used. I mean, just to go on a tangent here regarding Mysterio, they used him really well. And
but I mean, that's it. Like he's a
getting a world-class actor to play him. Can't go wrong.
Now there is a point. I don't remember if it's Quentin Beck, but there is a point where there is a Mysterio that can use magic. Like he is a magic user. And I can't remember if it's Quentin Beck or if it's a different version of Mysterio. But now that would be interesting if there was like, if somebody else picked up the moniker of Mysterio and he was a magic user rather than...
It's very easy. I mean, like, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's character's dead.
No, I don't think he is either.
Because they were very, all illusions are finished. They never said that he was dead. I mean, that's what Edith said. There's no illusions. That doesn't confirm that he's dead or not. So I don't think he's dead, but he could easily learn the art of magic, by shortcutting his way by getting it. You got Stephen Strange involved and shit like that. And Stephen Strange is going to be in Spider-Man.
Or Baron Mordo. Maybe Baron Mordo starts his own little clan and Quentin Beck is one of them.
So Doctor Strange is going to be in... I personally think he'll be in WandaVision. That's just my opinion.
I feel like he'll make an appearance at the end. As I said, I don't think they're going to do a whole episode.
You can't like just do like a cheeky little, oh look, there's Stephen Strange for half a second. That is not a payoff.
He's going to come in. He's going to be like, Wanda, I've come to bargain.
No, but I do think we're going to get some decent scenes with him. Even if it's only for 3 or 4 minutes, it's going to be that long, not a few seconds of him saying something to set up the movie. I think it's going to have more meat on the bones than that, if you know what I mean.
I mean, at this point, I wouldn't bet against you. I mean, I don't think so, but I wouldn't bet against you because honestly, with how this is going now, I'm kind of like, I don't know. As I said, old man Cap, Chris Evans might show up, and try to talk to Wanda. Hawkeye might show up because he's filming right now for Hawkeye. So they can easily add a scene in there. Doctor Strange could show up. I don't know.
I don't think Old Man Cap's going to show up because there's rumors of recently of Chris Evans signing a contract for 2 or 3 films, Marvel movies as Captain America.
I think those aren't going to be like big roles.
They're going to be small. Yeah, they're going to be small parts, but I think it's to do with the multiverse. Apparently, we're going to see a Hydra Captain America played by who's Steve Rogers. Chris Evans. Yeah, so we might see that in the multiverse, and he'll be playing that. I think the multiverse is going to be Cameo
City,
and
that's why I think it's stupid that they're going. They were still trying to do the
Easter egg City, cameos and Easter eggs in our faces. I don't know if I want to be right about that, but this is what I'm envisioning. And sometimes when what I envision is what I want the film to be, and it ends up being that, it satisfies me even more. Which is why I like the ending of Rogue One, because I wanted everyone to die and I wanted to end at the beginning of fucking episode 4. And that's how it and that's what it was. That's what I wanted, and it gave me that. It made me like it even more. So I'm envisioning lots of cameos in Doctor Strange 2, because we're getting all these Easter eggs in gossip columns regarding Alfred Molina being in that. Obviously Doctor Strange is in it's his fucking movie. But Wanda's going to be in that. People don't know if she's going to be some people are saying that she's the antagonist in that movie. Like some people are saying that whatever ends up here leads into the multiverse of madness.
Well, and that's, I mean, I honestly
literally
I would be okay with that.
Like this shit doesn't get resolved. WandaVision doesn't get resolved with episode 9. It kind of just branches off because Wanda herself hasn't been resolved, and then now it's down to Stephen Strange to deal with her. I really feel that's going to be the case, and it's going to be his magic versus her magic.
No, here's how at least this is how I want it to go. I mean, I wanted to go. They resolve WandaVision, like the whole dead Vision, and the whole sitcom thing and everything. Like all of that is resolved, but then we go like, and then Wanda kind of goes off on her own and is doing her own thing. Like she's like the Hulk now. Like she's this weapon of mass destruction, and she's on the run.
Well, the thing is, both villains being killed off limits the number it can be. Reason I prefer DC films and how they deal with it. Yeah, but I don't know, like well, the way like the DC, like when you're talking about DC films, are you talking like things like Batman and Robin? Because they didn't kill off the villains there, but that film was shit beyond belief.
Well, I mean, and in the original Batman movies, they killed just about everybody off.
Yeah, I mean, if you're guys gonna go for like a lineage of films, which are sequels, and there's no problems in killing people off, you don't have to bring them back because you're going through all these you're going through the rogues gallery. But if you're doing like a cinematic universe, then you can't be killing off all the bad guys. That's why I'm glad Baron Zemo wasn't killed off. I mean, he's in my opinion, he's the second best villain in the MCU. Actually, for me, no, I'll take that back. Personally, he's the best villain in the MCU because he beat the Avengers, and he was willing to, and he didn't give a fuck about his own life. He just wanted to destroy the event, and he did it. He succeeded. He succeeded before Thanos succeeded. He was the first villain to really win, in my opinion. And I'm glad they didn't kill him off, and I hope they don't kill him off in Falcon Winter Soldier. He's a great villain, and these are the sort of people who they just find it really difficult to get to. He's such a good villain that the bad guys just can't finish him. And those are the sort of people we need in the MCU now. Stop killing people off.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, if you're doing a cinematic universe like this, and you're not just doing like a couple movies and then moving on, the Nolan movies, you could have killed all the villains because Nolan was only going to do a trilogy, and he even said that. But it's like in an MCU, something continuous like this, you can't just kill your villains because then you got to come up with some cattywampus multi-dimensional crap to bring them back eventually. And I mean, I'm not saying that no one should die, but at the same time, it's like, when you kill off a lot of characters, like one character in every movie, you really stifle your ability to like expand your universe.
I mean, I felt sorry for Nolan because obviously with Heath Ledger dying, I mean, he was obviously going to use Heath Ledger again if he was still around, for the third Batman movie in some capacity. I mean, he brought back Cillian Murphy in all three films. He was the main villain in the first, and he brought him back for the other two films. He was in the second one, wasn't he?
I feel like he was. At least he had a cameo, I feel like, in the second and the third one.
I definitely remember the third one because he played like a judge.
Yeah, but I'm trying to remember the second one.
I
thought,
remember.
wasn't he in the very beginning selling the drugs or whatever, and then the Batman people were.
Yeah. He was one of the first people. Like you had all these vigilantes, funnily enough, who are trying to be like Batman, and one of the first people they dealt with was is it Victor Crane?
Yeah, no, not Victor Crane. What's his name?
Crane's his surname.
Yeah, I don't remember what his name is.
So yeah, but I mean, you make some good points that come to think of it in that sense. They don't kill off all the villains, but like I said, I have no problems when it comes to just a trilogy of films because you want to see other rogues, but like I said, in the cinematic universe, you want people to make comebacks because eventually you're going to run out of villains if you kill them all. And it's like wrestling in a way. Like you're not doing the bad guys any favors, the heels any favors, by getting them walked over by the faces all the time. Correct?
One more time.
It's like wrestling, like the heels that don't look strong, that don't look good. If the face is always winning, you need the heels to win.
Oh yeah, you got to. I mean,
the bad guys need to win. It's simple as that.
Yeah, and I mean they don't even have to all out win. Like Baron Zemo won, but still went to jail. Like they don't have to like all out win in order to win. Like
now Baron Zemo won. Like he wanted to die. Going to jail is for me, death or jail was no difference. Like he would probably be just alive, happy, smiling within himself, thinking that he destroyed the Avengers. Obviously, they come back again, which is probably why he wants to destroy them again. Because they did get back to. I mean, not only did they get back together, they're stronger than ever. Yeah, like they're more unified, they're bigger. The group is humongous.
I don't know if they're more unified. I think the Avengers still have a long way to go. I think between Avengers and Age of Ultron, they were stronger as a team. Like
I think things like the snap and some of the losses they suffered, like Tony sacrificing himself, and obviously what Black Widow did. There's another thing. Was Natasha Romanoff ever referred to as the Black Widow?
I think so.
Prior to the movie, prior to her movie.
I think so. Maybe I don't remember. I'd have to go back.
After a while, I just stopped calling her Black Widow.
I always call her Black Widow.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're always calling her Romanoff or Natasha and.
I mean, I always call. I don't call him Barton. I call him Hawkeye.
I like to call him Barton. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind calling them by their aliases or their real names, but like their aliases are just like Black Widow. I mean, and you have to kind of distinguish between Banner and Hulk because they're two separate people, really.
Well, I look at Professor Hulk as Bruce Banner now. He's Bruce Banner with confidence. Because Hulk is like unstoppable rage. Bruce Banner with confidence. I mean, like I said, would you let Hulk near your kids? No. But Professor Hulk near your kids? No problem. And we saw that in Endgame. So he's definitely Bruce Banner, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. In that sense. And like I said, just going back to this show, I consider him to be the leader of the Avengers now because there's nobody. Captain Marvel's off-world. How can she be the fucking leader? Hulk's off-world. How can he be the fucking leader? T'Challa's going to be confirmed dead at one particular point, unfortunately, because of Chadwick Boseman. So he can't be the leader. And everyone else I mentioned is either dead or retired. It's got to be Hulk. Don't you agree? You name me someone else who can take over at this particular moment.
Rhodey. I always say Rhodey.
Rhodey.
Yeah, he's got the most experience. He is not only a colonel in the military, but he's been War Machine for many years. I mean, Hulk
Okay,
is
I agree. I agree. Rhodey is a very good person to be the leader in that sense. Who would be better to deal with this WandaVision situation, Hulk or Rhodey?
honestly, well, probably I don't neither of them.
You know it's Bruce Banner because you
No,
need.
it's not because I mean, maybe science wise, but you've got plenty of scientists there.
Yeah, but Bruce Banner is like is like super intelligent. He's Tony Stark level of intelligence. You know,
Okay,
so
well then, yeah, Hulk, just to make you happy, I guess.
well, you don't think he is?
I
I mean,
don't I don't think
he was
Hulk
one of
is.
the he was one of the few guys to like he created time travel before Tony did. He just did it differently. He made fucking Scott Lang a baby.
No, he put time through Lang.
Whatever he did, he basically created. Okay, however you want to call it, he created eternal youth. Yeah, and that's it's not many scientists can say that. So that's what he did. And whatever, regardless, like I said, he's worked with Wanda. He knows Wanda. I know Rhodey does as well. But he is brains. You do need science in this. You need the smartest people imaginable to deal with the situation. And Hulk not only is the smartest, he's arguably the strongest as well. So yeah, he's the perfect choice.
Okay, whatever you say, Zam.
In the sense, look, I'm just saying, like, being a leader, regarding being the leader. But I do agree with you with Rhodey. But when it came to like, if Sword were going shit, we need Avengers right now. You think they're going to ask for Rhodey or Banner?
What?
Sword said they need Avengers right now to deal with this WandaVision situation, but it kind of looks like they do. Yeah, are they going to get fucking Rhodey or Banner?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I know I'm going on. I apologize. I am dragging this out. I'm so sorry. I'm just very adamant on this. That's all. But yeah, okay. Well, look, I think Phony Beatlemaniacs has also said that no, but Aquaman villain, Shazam villain, Wonder Woman villain alive. Yeah, they are. But unfortunately, like the problem with DC is that they're just so slow at doing shit, and they want their cake and eat it without putting the groundwork in. And they've got no idea what to do. You got a whole bunch of people who are clueless when it comes to creating a cinematic universe, when it comes to fleshing out characters. And now with you seen Wonder Woman 84? Have you seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Yeah,
It wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be, but whatever.
It's a stupid film because like Wonder Woman should not be known by anybody, yet she was fucking known by the whole world in 1984 because she was connected to them when it came to reversing their wishes. So the whole fucking planet knows who she is, but somehow she was not known by anybody. Come Batman versus Superman, and shit like that pisses me off. So it just goes to show that DC don't know what the fuck they're doing. They've got a universe and they're fucking with it. Whilst you see the genius with the writing and the storytelling, like to make Endgame as great as it is absolute fucking genius. To put in, Evan Peters as Pietro, absolutely fucking genius. These are the sort of things you live for. Anyway, I apologize. I'm dragging, aren't I? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm having a good time, man. I'm fucking talking about this show. I'm sure you got shit to do, yeah?
Well, it's not that. It's just the fact that this is the review. Like, if you want to, we could have saved all this for a weekend.
Yeah, I apologize, mate. I'm so sorry. I'm just going on one. I just had a good time today, mate. Like this show has really put a smile on my face. It's got me thinking about so much stuff, and I just wish there was more people watching right now so we could share shit with each other. But let's just leave it as that, shall we? You got anything more to say, mate?
Nope.
Okay, then let's wrap it up. Well, we are on YouTube, as you know. We're filming this right now on YouTube. We're also on Facebook as well as Discord. The logo on YouTube It's the same logo on Facebook and Discord when you search for Nerd Nation. There's a few Nerd Nations out there, but you want us. That's who you want. Thank you very much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.